Hello everyone, my name is Dena and I am back today with another video for PotomacBeads. In today's video, we'll use RounDuos and RounDuo Minis in right angle weave to create a bracelet. So click on the link below to get your list of supplies, gather them up, meet me back, and we will get started. Okay, now that you have your supplies out and ready to go, I am starting with a very large amount of thread on my needle. I have 3 arm spans worth because you're going to be going up and down the bracelet quite a few times, and it also depends on if you decide to use 2 needles or with 1 needle. The original one, the first sample that I did, I used just the 1 needle, and I ended up using a whole lot of thread because I was going through it up and down the bracelet several times. This time, in this video, I'm going to choose to do 2 needles, so hopefully it won't be as much thread. We'll find out here at the end. So for that first step, you want to we're going to add our cut button right away since we're using the 2 needles. So put 3 of your 11-ohs. In this section, I'm deciding to use the purple ones. Put 3 of your 11-ohs on one of your needles. Then go through your cut button, through the cup side towards the outside with 1 needle, through 1 hole, and the other needle through the other hole. And then pull that down to approximately the middle of your bracelet. Get the fuzz out of that. And then your beads should sit in the middle of the cut button just like that. So now separate your beads out. Your beads, not your beads, your needles. Separate your needles out. What we're going to add now is 3 11s on both needles. If my left hand will work today in picking up the seed beads. There we go. Now we're going to pick up one of our 8-ohs and cross through it. So pick it up with one of your needles. Bring it down your thread just a little bit. Then take your other needle, go in the opposite direction through the same 8-oh. So that way you're crisscrossing. And then pull that down to your cut button. And when you get that all pulled down, set my needles down so then I can show you what it looks like. I'm not sure where all this fuzz is coming from, so I apologize for that. But that's what you should have. Okay, now we're going to start adding our first of our RounDuos. So what you want to do, I'm separating the 2 needles to the left and the right. So I have the correct needle on the right side. Okay. So there we go. So with the right needle, I'm going to pick up 2 of your 11s and 1 of the RounDuos. Now with the other needle, we're going to pick up 2 11s and then that same RounDuo bead, the thread needle are going in this direction right now. Going through that same hole, we're going to go with the other needle in the opposite direction from the left to the right. And then when you pull all of this down, of course, like I said, I have a lot of thread. Your project should look something similar to this. Now it does kind of look a little wonky. It's fine. Like I said, we're going up and down this bracelet several times, so that'll get fixed at the end. So now we're going to add our RounDuo Minis. To do that, we are on 1 hole of the RounDuos. We want to jump to the other hole with both our needles. So take one of the needles, go from the right to the left, take the other needle, and do the opposite from the left to the right. Like that. You will have some thread that will be exposed on the side of the RounDuo. However, at the end of this, we're going to be adding the extra beads to the sides and everything, so you're not going to notice it very well. So for this next part, we're going to pick up RounDuo Mini, a second RounDuo, and set that down on your needle a little bit. With your other needle, pick up another RounDuo Mini, and then we're going to cross through that RounDuo that we just added through the same hole, going from the left to the right. Don't go through that RounDuo Mini just yet. There you go, from the left to the right. Then we pull all this down, and this will get this to the end of the bracelet, and then there is your first right angle weave. So now we need to jump to the outer hole of the next round of this RounDuo to get the next round of the minis and the next RounDuo on. So take one of your needles, jump from the one hole to the second hole, take your other needle, go from the one hole to the second hole. Now this step is what you will do all the way to the end of your bracelet. For the bracelet that I'm doing today, it's going to be approximately 7.5 inches. So for that, I will need a total of 26 of your RounDuos in the center part. So go ahead and continue on. Add your 26 RounDuos. Make sure you're coming out of that last hole of your RounDuo, so that way we can mimic this other half right here and make the loop for our cut button right away. Alright, so now you should be down at the other end of the bracelet towards where your loop is at. So with the joys of recording, I went through the whole bracelet recording video and found out at the end of it that this part didn't record. So I had to whip up another bracelet real quick, so that's why it kind of looks a little different. You can't really see all the threads on the sides and everything. It's fine. We're at the same spot. So to add our next step, we're going to add little X's that go down the center of the bracelet. So right now your thread and needle should be coming out of the outer hole of your last RounDuo, closest to your loop. Now we're going to move our thread and needle over to where we're coming out of the inner holes of the RounDuo Minis. So to do that, I have the right hand side right now that I'm working with. So I'm going to go from this hole of the RounDuo to this hole, like that. Pull that tight, and I'm going to go through that next RounDuo Mini, the inner hole of that one, from the right to the left. Now we're set up to start adding a portion of our X. I'm choosing to use the other color of the 11-Os, which is the white ones. That's why I have my little earring card sitting here. So hopefully you can kind of see them a little bit, even though they're kind of spread out throughout the bead mat right now. So I'm adding an 11, an 8, and an 11. And my dog's barking. And I'm going to go from the right to the left of the bottom RounDuo Mini. And when I pull that tight, that should look partly like an X sitting there. Now we're going to move to the next section over here to get the next RounDuo, or next portion of the X through on. So to do that, we're going to go through this next hole of the RounDuo, and we're going to jump over to the other hole of the RounDuo, and then we're going to go through that next RounDuo Mini from the right to the left. Apparently the video gods today don't want me doing a video at the moment. Things are not happening correctly. Dog barking, video not recording, but hey, such is life. You just deal with it, move on. So now I'm set up to add my next little half portion of the X. So you have your 11-O, your 8-O, and your 11-O. You're coming out of this bottom RounDuo Mini. We're going to go up to the top RounDuo Mini, go from the right to the left, and that will put that half of that X on there. So now I'm just going to move my thread out of the way. I'm going to go through the next RounDuo like I'm about to move to the next section. But instead of doing that, I'm going to pick up my other thread, which is on the left-hand side. So this is coming out of this side right here. And I'm going to move this one around so I can complete the X. So I'm going to go from this hole of the RounDuo, move to the second hole of the RounDuo, going from the top to the bottom. There we go. And he may be quiet now. And we're going to go through that RounDuo Mini from the right to the left. Well, maybe. There we go. From the right to the left. Now we're set up to start completing that X. So we are going to pick up an 11-0. We're going to go through this 8-0 from the bottom towards the top. So it should look something like that. Now to complete the X, we're going to pick up another 11-0, and then we're going to go from and through that RounDuo Mini from the right to the left again. When you pull this tight, it should make the center part look like an X. So now let's move our thread over to complete the next one. So when we're coming out of this RounDuo Mini, we need to go through the RounDuo that's sitting right next to it. Move over to the next hole of the RounDuo, go through that towards the top. And then go through the next RounDuo Mini from the right to the left. Now pick up an 11-0, maybe, and you're going to go through your next 8-0, going from the top to the bottom in that direction. And you pull that. It's going to complete part of the X. Now to get the rest of the X completed, another 11-0, go through your bottom RounDuo Mini from the right to the left. And then there is your second X. So now we need to get the thread started for the next round, so just move from the bottom part of this RounDuo to the top. And now you're set up to start again. So complete this step all the way down the bracelet and meet me back and I will show you the next step. Okay, so you should be back down towards your cut button after you got all your X's put in. So what I ended up doing is taking both threads and needle and following my thread path and going through the cut button again. So that way there's 3 strands of thread through your cut button. That's just to help strengthen it so it doesn't fall apart. So now what we're going to do is your thread needle should be coming out of this outermost hole closest to the cut button of your RounDuo. We're going to jump to the outside where with the hole of the RounDuo Minis that we haven't used just yet. I've already done a few on this side just to kind of give you an idea of what to look for. So to get from this outermost hole to the RounDuo Mini, we're going to add 4 15s. And then we're going to do just that. We're going to jump from that outer hole. And if I can do this without seeing where I'm going, and go through that outer hole of the RounDuo Mini. Now we're going to put some decoration on the outside of the Mini. So we're going to add 3 11s. I'm going to use the purple ones this time. And the thread is coming out of this side of the RounDuo Mini. We're going to round it out and go back through in the same direction with our needle. So when we do that, it puts your 11-0s on the outside. So now we need to go from this RounDuo Mini to this one. To do that, we're going to do a 15, an 11, which I'm using the white one, and a 15. So 15, 11, 15. Go from that RounDuo Mini, the outer hole, to the next RounDuo Mini, that outer hole, and pull. And now you've jumped to the next one. So just continue on that step where this next one you add your 3 11-0s on the outside, going in the same, rounded out in the same direction that you're going in at the moment. Add your 15, 11, 15 to get from one RounDuo Mini to the next one. I'll meet you back down at the end of the bracelet and we will continue on to our very last step. Okay, so now that you have added all of your decorations along both sides of your bracelet, you should be down close to the loop. Now you're coming out of that outer hole of the RounDuo Mini, and we want to get to that outer hole closest to the loop of the RounDuo. To do so, we're going to mimic the other side, add 4 of your 15-0s, go from that outer hole, jump up of the RounDuo Mini to the outer hole, the one closest to the loop of your RounDuo. And when you pull tight, it should round it off or make it look similar to the other side, just like that. So now what we're going to end up doing is going through the loop one more time with both threads. So there again, we're going to have, on this side, we'll end up having 4 rounds or 4 threads through the loop, which is perfectly fine. So I'm going to go up through those 2 11-0s sitting there, go through the 8-0 in the center, around the loop one more time. I've already done this with the other needle. Just make sure not to skip any beads. But I have already done this with the other side. So I'm just trying to get my needle from this side to end up in the same spot so I can show you the last step that we have. And then after tying it all off, our bracelet will be done. Okay, so I went through the loop, going back through, sorry, out of focus there a little bit. Okay, back through the loop, going back through the 8-0, going back down the 2 11s on this side. And to do our last step, we'll do this same thing on both sides again. So we're coming out of the 2 11-0s right after the loop. We're going to go ahead and go through those 4 15s. Go through the 4 15s there. We're going to go through those 3 11s that are sitting there. Oops, caught around the bead mat. Now we're going to skip that 15 that's in between the 2 RounDuo Minis. There's a 15, 11, and a 15. We're going to skip that 15, go just through the 11, and then you're going to proceed on to the next 3 11s. There you go. So again, I'm through those 3 11s. There is the 15, 11, 15 in between. We're skipping the 15. We're going just through the 11. This kind of helps make it stand out more as a point. Oops. Wrapped around some of the other 11s. There we go. So this is our last step. We do this on both sides of the bracelet. And somewhere down at the end of the bracelet, or I guess the beginning of the bracelet because it's where the cup button's at, meet your threads together, tie your threads in a knot, burn them down, and your bracelet is done. Thank you so much for watching my tutorial on how to make my bracelet of Don't Stop Growing. I really hope you enjoyed this one. I love the colorways on this with the purple and the gray. I think it looks great. I hope you think so as well. So don't forget to like and subscribe so you can get notifications when Potomac Beads comes out with new videos and new content. Thank you very much for watching again. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see y'all later.